I'm Susan Page. In my last video blog, I discussed guilt and how you can feel guilty or have regrets about so many things you did or didn't do after your spouse died. In this blog, I'll discuss another difficult feeling to handle, anger. If you feel anger to someone after losing your spouse, it can gnaw at you and make you incapable of moving forward. The most important thing about anger is to know who you're angry at. Are you angry with your spouse for leaving you? Are you angry with yourself? What about a doctor or a nurse or an emergency response team member? You could be angry with a friend who did the wrong thing or said the wrong thing. Your anger could also be directed at a family member. And of course, you may be angry with God as well. You can probably add more people to this list, but I think it's a pretty good list for now, just to start with. And you can add more over time. First, though, forgive yourself if that's where your anger lies. Forgive your spouse, even if he or she may have said or done something terrible towards the end. One widow I met had such a hard time healing because her husband said the most cruel things to her as he was dying. In reality, he wasn't in the best state of mind toward the end, so it wasn't really him talking, but it was hard for her to handle. Forgive your spouse if you face this situation. Don't believe whatever nasty thing he or she may have said to you. Try to remember the good times you had and chalk up the nastiness to the pain and suffering and anger he or she may have had toward the end of their life. If you have a problem with someone in the medical community, forgive them too. If you started or plan to start a lawsuit, you can still move forward with it. I'm not saying don't do that, but still forgive privately. Remember, forgiveness is for your state of mind. It not only helps you mentally, but it helps physically too. It's tough to forgive a family member. I know I had a difficult time forgiving my niece. She said some really nasty things to Greg before Greg died. It took me a couple of years before I truly forgave her. I never told her I forgave her because I really don't want to reconcile with her. And she probably still thinks she's in the right. But for me, I felt such a weight removed off my chest when I honestly forgave her. So, even though it's difficult, try. And if you're angry with God, tell him. He can take it. He has broad shoulders. Just do not stop talking to him. So, make a list of who you're angry with, if you are, and ask yourself if you can forgive him or her. If you feel you cannot forgive them, ask yourself why. It may take time, but work on the why, because you will feel better. Remember theme 1 from my book, it's all about you. Ephesians 4:32 says, "Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you." Do you think you're better than Jesus? If he can forgive someone, so can you. Until next time, I'm Susan Page. Bye.